Klani Barogoshak, Storlavak, Klavak. Or Grug.
You may figure that trying to patch things up between an alien and his alien-hating neighbor would be kind of difficult, but apparently not, because this is one of the easiest locations. Our first goal is just to greet an alien, and of note, if you greeted the aliens before getting here, this goal would be impossible to complete. Like normal, we're going to unpack our espresso machine and boombox and such, but our next goal want is to buy a computer, and the aliens already have like 2 computers, so we're just going to go ahead and give their crazy neighbor one instead. Our next goal is to write an internet blog about alien life, so let's just, oh, the crazy neighbor is already playing the computer, I see how it is. We instead decide to use one of the aliens' computers, which are a lot more fancy and holographic. I don't know why Jard insisted on buying one, maybe he couldn't tell these things were computers. And our blog has a whopping 0% popularity when we finish, maybe people just don't care about alien life. And now we're supposed to build walls, and I don't understand what Jard is thinking. Doesn't he know that walls will only make the distance between the aliens and their neighbor greater? But I guess their neighbor does seem like the kind of guy who would want a fence. Now we're supposed to help XYXY, one of the aliens, fulfill all of his gold wants, and he's already playing on the computer like his crazy neighbor, so I think I see friendship forming. Making friends with him is XYXY's first gold want, but to me it seems like it should be one of the last. Either way, let's get down to business. Our first order of business is to apologize, but we try and fail so many times that it boots us out of the conversation, unfortunately. I do have to wonder what we are apologizing for. Are we apologizing for existing? We try again, but we apologize so bad apparently that we level up to enemies. We get back down quickly enough, but if you thought apologizing was going to work at all, then you're sadly mistaken. After using the talk command for a long time, we finally managed to get him to 0, which means we are now neutral, thankfully. Getting him past more than 10 relationship points also proves to be difficult. Maybe he's just really upset that we took him away from the computer. After talking for a comically large amount of time, he tells us that we look tired and we should go get rest or something. Man, I'm trying to patch up this relationship that didn't exist until now. Don't tell me what to do. He was equally tired though and went to go to sleep after we stopped talking, which gives us an opportunity to fill XYXY's needs in his bathroom. Also, all of Jard's old friends are telling him that they're not friends anymore, but who cares? Who needs them if they stop being our friend after a couple weeks? We also decided to use the crazy neighbor's fridge and stove, because that's what being neighbors means, right? I can just pop over and take all your stuff. Even if he would object to us doing things like using his shower, he's asleep anyway. What's he gonna do about it? Eventually our stats are good enough that we've had enough waiting and we start screaming at him to get him up again. Come on, we need to be friends, get your ass out of bed. This time things go way more smoothly and we're about to become friends when he decides he needs to use the bathroom. In spite of him needing to use the bathroom so bad he starts walking funny, he instead moves to the fridge to eat more food that will decrease his bladder need further. Well man, if you're not gonna use your bathroom, I guess we can. He seems to be really committed to this whole eating a meal while he has to crap thing. He's waddling over to the table now. Well, while he's destroying his body, I guess we can get into his fridge and grab some chips for the wait. We wait very patiently for him to soil the floor before we start talking to him again, and now we're going to be friends whether he wants to or not. Here we go. And he has to use the shower. The guy's taking so long to fix his fucked up body that we have to drink more espresso. After that, he finally stays in one spot long enough for us to become friends. Alright, maybe that was as hard as I anticipated, just not for the reasons I thought it would be. Alright, now finally, XYXY's next want is to buy some clothes, or rather dress in some clothes that will get him to fit into human society better. And I mean, Jard is the perfect role model of a human. He should also grow a beard though, just to be safe. put on an undershirt underneath his space suit, just so that the very tips of the sleeves are showing. That's real fashion. Here's that bulletproof vest that Jard wears when he goes to work, but we do have to make sure it matches colors. And of course we're going to need the matching pants too. But Jard's style also has a lot of Western in it, so let's put on a blue gun holster. Yeah, that looks nice. And I think what we need lastly is cowboy boots to really pull the whole thing together. Now XYXY wants to buy a source of extra ingredients and then cook his crazy neighbor a meal in that order. Immediately after buying the fruit tree though, he decides that combining every piece of meat possible would be a much better human meal. We don't even bother to cook it, we just hand him a plate full of meat and he seems happy about it. And XYXY's final gold want is to throw a party now that he's got his human life all put together. Alright, let's do this, I'm so ready to party. Taking an awful long time for them to respond though, but I'm sure things are going fine. Oh, it's 5 AM, shit. We decide to wait patiently on this beanbag until it turns 6. Alright, it's 6 AM, who's ready to fucking party? Apparently it is still too early. So it turns out that 7 AM is the magic number. If you want to party with your friends, you have to call them at 7. Calling them any earlier is not acceptable. We get Jard over to the espresso machine and ready to head out just as the alien's guest arrives. I'm sorry, XYXY, it's really rude to call him the alien. Especially since now he's become friends with the crazy neighbor. He's practically a human. As always, before we leave, we're going to take our magic sleep annihilation machine with us, but we're going to leave the boombox because a party needs music after all. I still think that was the easiest real location. I'll see you guys next time.